Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's BDL44 coming at you with another video. So, uh, it's funny, man, because I was just getting out the shower, minding my business, not thinking about anything at all, really, and trying to figure out what I was going to put on, what shirt I wanted to put on. And someone told me to put on my Lakers shirt. Who knows, right? And I'm like, well, I'm not really sure. In my head, I'm thinking, I'm not really sure what the significance of me putting this shirt on today is, per se, but I'm just going to roll with it, you know? And then, as I'm going throughout the day, I look down. My stock is going crazy. AMC's having a fantastic day. You got all this going on. I'm making all these videos all day long, thinking about everything but my squad. And then I realized today's 8/24. It's Kobe Day. It's Kobe Day. And it dawned on me, with all the distractions and all the different things going on in the world. It's 8/24. Now, I know his birthday was yesterday, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. 8/23 is his birthday. But of course, his numbers, the two numbers retired, are 8 and 24. And so we celebrate today. Laker fans and Kobe fans alike, everybody, the NBA, sports in general, we all celebrate Kobe Day today. So that is the significance of me wearing my Lakers shirt. Subconsciously, I knew that it was time to celebrate something in regards to this great organization. And it's the greatest player that ever wore the colors. That's who we celebrate. The Lakers are posting a lot of different things on their Instagram right now about Kobe, just different memorable moments. Everybody on Instagram really posting their Kobe stuff. And, it's just like this. 20 years of watching him play, you know of everything that he did. But to be reminded some of those things, some of the stuff that he had accomplished on the basketball floor and the toughness that he displayed, it was so many different incidences, so many different magical moments that you do forget, or I ain't speaking for anyone else, but forget how great he actually was from moment to moment, from game to game. When we talk about players who want to rank ahead of him based on statistics and championships or what have you. But I don't know that they had some of the moments that he had wearing a uniform. I don't know. I don't know. I can speak on what I've seen, and what I've seen is 20 years of just magic. Simply magic, He just did things you could not even fathom sometimes, hitting shots that just did not look like they were possible. His finger, they showed on Instagram the incident where his finger was popped out of place. He walked over to Gary Vitti. Gary popped it back in place. He continued playing. Didn't even do as much as a timeout for some Gatorade. Like, this is a different individual that we lost here, man. And we were fortunate enough to be able to watch him do what he did, and to know of his work ethic as well, to have heard the stories and to have had different people who were aware of him, teammates and the opponents alike, trainers and different individuals spend a lot of time with him who can tell you of his work ethic and the legend that was Kobe Bryant. And it's just different things that he did. Obviously scoring 81 points, getting the Achilles injury and walking up to the free throw line and hitting both free throws on that injury. Just different moments, man. For myself personally, I remember a specific game, obviously the Game 7 against Portland, with the lob to Shaq and the great comeback there, getting us to the finals for our first championship in that era. But another game against Portland is one that stands out for me. When we were, it was a regular season game, so the final game of the season, I believe we were playing for the division. I don't know if we were going against Portland for the division, but statistically it was like, if we win, we get it. If we don't, it goes to another squad. And Kobe Bryant hit an impossible, highly contested three-point shot at the buzzer at the end of regulation to send him to overtime. And I believe we maybe went to a second overtime. I don't remember how this went, but he ended up hitting the game-winning shot. That was a three-point shot at the buzzer to end the game and get the win in that same game. That's two separate, impossible buzzer shots. It ain't just that he hit these shots at the buzzer. It's the way that he had to contort his body to hit these impossible clutch shots, both in the same game, both with the game on the line. There was a season, I think it may have been season 15 or 16, I don't remember which one it was, where he had like 9 buzzer beaters throughout the year. Various shots against Sacramento and the Raptors and Bucks, I believe it was. There were so many different teams that he just killed at the buzzer that same year. So many different things, man. and the list just goes on forever, literally forever. 63 3/4. The comeback against Dallas, I think he went off for, I don't know what, but we were down by like 30 points or something crazy. I didn't even see that whole game, but it stands out significantly for me because when the game began, I was at a friend's house who's since passed away, and it was one of the last time I saw him. My boy Steven Sepulveda, rest in peace. Lupus took him from his family, and one of the last times I was able to really spend time with him, that game was playing. And we were in his room watching it, me, my homeboy Keontae, others, and his family. We were, the game was on, and it was like, it was out of hand. And by the time I get home, we had come back. I come home, my mom's watching the game, and we're up by like 3. That's the type of stuff, like, you just can't fathom. And that was a game led by Kobe Bean Bryant. It's just the 3-point game where he hit 12 3-point shots, setting the record at that time. I think it was since broken a couple times. I think Daniel Marshall broke it maybe 6 months after that. And then somebody else, I think it may have been Clay or Steph, might have set it since. Might have been Steph. But, yeah, at that time, and mind you, Kobe's not a 3-point shooter. He was never somebody that you would say is a guy you want behind the arc, just launching them. At that point, that was where he was at that point in his career. It was like, he's a shot maker. He could hit him, but it's not his game. He's not Ray Allen. And against the Seattle Sonics, if I'm not mistaken, Ray Allen was on that team. I don't remember if that was before or after they made the trade for Ray Allen. I don't remember. But it was the Sonics. And home game, he just went out there and just started yapping up threes. 1, 2, 3. And it's like he's hot. I remember watching the entire game with my mom, and I'm like, Mom, we're watching something special. It was very obvious halfway through the first quarter that he was going to have one of them games. But he kept shooting threes, and he kept making them, and it just didn't stop. And it was like, he has like 6 threes at the end of the second quarter or something ridiculous, and he just kept shooting them. And he ended up with 12 to end the game. I think he missed maybe 15, but like for the first 10 of them, I think he made them all. Like 10 straight or something. I don't remember. It was phenomenal, though. He set that record, and it wasn't even his bag. It wasn't even his cup of tea. Just Kobe Bean Bryant, man. What do you want to do? You talk about the offensive rebound against the San Antonio Spurs off of the free throw that ultimately he was able to get a putback. I think that, if I'm not mistaken, that was ultimately the play that won the series for us against San Antonio in a very, very competitive year against them. Playoffs, I mean, there's so many different things. And it's like, you want to appreciate only his play. You don't want to think about the story. You don't want to think about how it all ended for him, But unfortunately, when you're talking about Kobe, that's part of it, And for me, just looking back on being able to see his entire career, I can assure everyone that he was a lot more than that to the people who watched him. For people who just kind of know of the story and know he was a great basketball player but don't know what he did on the court, maybe didn't watch basketball like that, I can tell you, I don't remember him for how he passed away necessarily at all. It's more so about what he did while he was here that made him the legend that we celebrate on 8/24 today. So that's what I want to say. I do also have to send condolences to the Bryant family and Vanessa and everybody there. Um, they've shown us so much grace as a family. Um, just everybody from their family has shown so much grace and has given so much of themselves to us, knowing that we have celebrated their loved one, knowing that we too love their loved one. And as somebody who doesn't know them, I feel privileged to be able to be able to see that, that his family's doing well, and that they're able to continue to find ways of being able to smile, going forward. And it's like that's all ultimately we want for his family, so yeah, that's what I want to say there. And just thankful for the display, of what not only was greatness on the court, but also an understanding of how to appreciate the difficulty of a journey. On a personal level, this has been one of the toughest years for me, and I look at what I've gone through this year in terms of just having it be a lot of dog days, a lot of tough days, and I think about what Kobe said about loving the journey. When you know something great is coming, and when you know that you're doing the work, not focusing on the end game, but more so allowing yourself to grow stronger through the adversity of training, through the adversity of building that repetition, of building that work ethic, and having that pride found within that work ethic. And when you're going through the tough times, whether it be recovery from injury or dealing with adversity outside of your control, or dealing with specific strategies that you have to take advantage of or implement, or anything that you have to do to kind of have one up against your opponent or whatever you're doing. Preparation, applying preparation and thought, detail to all that you do, and taking pride in that process of preparation. That's what Kobe was about. Like he instilled that in everyone who was able to listen to him speak. A certain level of pride and detail, and finding beauty in the difficulties, and that's what ultimately I think has helped me kind of keep it together through what has otherwise been a tough time for myself. Just looking back on that example of Kobe Bryant and other great examples that I've had in my life of individuals showing me how to get through my own personal things. So I'm sure that Kobe Bryant has shown that example to all of you as well, and that's why we celebrate him today. And as you watch this video, that's why you're seeing me celebrate him in this moment. It's not just about being a Laker fan and being a sports fan, or appreciating him as a black man who was a family man, a father first, appreciating him as somebody who made some changes in his life and grew and elevated in some ways that was evident for people to see even from afar. Someone who put his family and his daughters first, and made sure that they had what they needed, saw the best version of himself. Someone who transitioned away from basketball into other things and applied that same passion, and didn't let his loss for basketball keep him from finding a love for something new. That example was awesome, because we had seen so many athletes particularly have a tough time walking away from the game, or having to be carried out on a stretcher because they didn't know when to quit. Kobe Bryant ended his career scoring 60 points, being as good at scoring the basketball as he had ever been, and he walked away having played for the same team his entire career. That loyalty worked. He applied it, and it worked. And so on and so forth, man. This is Kobe Bryant we're talking about. A lot of people say he tried to be like Michael Jordan, but as you can see, when it was all said and done, it was Michael Jordan who was trying to be like him. It was Michael Jordan who sung his praises, who spoke of him as the type of character, the type of man that he respected, the type of competitor that he respected, the type of person that wanted to push him to be better, and do some things in a different way. If you inspired the person that inspired you, I'd say you were great. My name is BDF44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.